Hello, everyone, and welcome to everything you need to know about back-to-back cruises. We are so excited to talk about this topic. I know that back-to-back cruises is something that a lot of people are interested in. We always tended to do longer sailings, so when back-to-back cruises started becoming more popular, we started to find out why. So we are excited to be joined by Laura here in just a minute to talk about everything back-to-back. Hi to Jerry and Joanne and Aria. Welcome, guys. I know we started about a minute early, so we'll let some people come on in, and we will get Laura in here as well. We're so excited to talk about this topic because we know that it is a hot one. Hello. Oh, I cannot. Oh, my volume is down. That's why. Can you hear me?
You hear me?
I can't hear you.
Okay.
Oh, I love the wish blanket in the background.
Yeah, that's as good as it's going to get tonight. Sorry, guys.
No. We listen. I'm so jealous. You've been on the Wish 3 times now, so I'm living through you.
I
Um,
have.
and oh my gosh, so many great people in here. Hi, Jennifer and Michael and Cheryl and Stephanie. So glad to have so many of you. We'll let people keep rolling in, but thank you guys for
Yeah,
joining us to talk about all things back-to-back cruises. We know that so many of you submitted questions beforehand, so we're going to do our best to get to all of those. But we're going to also try and keep up with the comments as well. So if you have any questions for Laura, feel free to put those in the comments. But Laura, if you quickly want to introduce yourself and let them know why you are here to talk about all things back-to-back.
Okay. I'm Laura Greco. I'm with Fairytale Journeys Travel Agency. And I had popped on here live from the ship, both on the maiden voyage. And I just got back a few days ago from a back-to-back sailing on her. Hi from Taiwan. Oh, wow. Taiwan. Hi.
Yes.
I've done back-to-back often. Um, it's one of my favorite things to do, and I'll tell you why, because I think that automatically will answer one of the questions.
Absolutely.
Why back-to-back and not a long cruise? While I love back-to-back and I love long cruises, there's many reasons people like to go back-to-back. It's a great way to get a double dip. I apologize for the dumb dogs. Hold on. Moving locations.
No, that's okay. Listen, your dog is also very excited about back-to-back cruises.
Yes, wrong timing. Okay, so sorry about that. So what it does is it gives you 2 stops at Castaway Cay, and it gives you a 3-night and a 4-night out of Port Canaveral. And yes, you can do it out of Miami. You could do a 5-night and a 4-night out of Miami, which would give you 2 stops out of Port Canaveral. I mean, out of Miami. But you get the 2 stops at Castaway Cay, which to me is golden.
Yes.
And they only do that like 1 or 2 double dip itinerary. You know, maybe once a year you see it, and the price is inflated, and it's a 5-night. I just got 7.
Oh.
So I had 7 beautiful nights, and a back-to-back on a new ship as big as the Wish is a great way to experience the ship.
Yeah.
4 and 3 nights might not be enough if you're really trying to look around and get a good feel for her and experience her. It's a good way to get 7 nights.
Yeah. Any way to get more nights on board is not a bad thing. I mean, if you can, I know, I think you mentioned somebody on your last sailing did a back-to-back to get
Yes.
11 nights.
They made it 11 nights. And it is a good way for those of you trying to make platinum. It is a way to get to platinum a lot faster.
Yes.
Because that's 2 sailings right there, boom, toward platinum.
Yes. And with platinum, it's not about the number of nights. It's just purely
No,
about sailings.
Sailings. You want to get to that magical number of your 11th sailing to get that platinum lanyard. So if you're on the hunt to be part of the Platinum Club, back-to-back is going to get you there a lot faster than 7 nights.
Yes. Amazing. Well, that's good to know why back-to-backs are such a good option. And I'm curious if anybody watching, I know I've seen some people who have said they have some back-to-backs booked, which is exciting. But for those who don't, who are thinking, I've done single itineraries before, how do you even book a back-to-back cruise? Is that something that you have to link reservations on? Do you just do it all at once? How do you book a back-to-back?
Well, this is where a travel agent really comes in handy because it is easier to sail back to back if you can find the same stateroom on both cruises. This way, you don't have to worry about your luggage moving and you can actually be unpacked. Although, I have to think about this because now the testing rules are going away.
Yes, that's right.
I'm going to go currently because if you're on a back to back before September
20.
23rd, I think it starts to roll
Yes.
the ships. Um, you will have to pack your bags, even if you're in the same stateroom, just in case you test positive between the two sailings, because they're going to bring the luggage out to you.
Got it.
Thank you. It is the 23rd. They are going to be bringing your luggage off. When the testing rule goes away and you won't have to test anymore, you'll be able to leave your bags unpacked and then you're in the same stateroom. So that's the best way to go back to back. So how do you book that? If you're not using a travel agent, you're going to either have to call in, or if you do it yourself, you're looking at the two sailings, you're scanning the categories, seeing
Mm-hmm.
if you can grab the same room. If you don't see the same room, it's not a big deal at all. You pack your bag and they move your luggage to the next room and they do
Ah,
your stateroom first. So your stateroom is generally ready, but if not, as soon as you reboard, shortly after, you're allowed to go behind the tapes when you're back to back.
got it. Okay. So you don't automatically get the same stateroom just because you're going back to back. They are
No,
two
and
separate reservations.
right, and then you tell Disney Cruise Line or the travel agent will link the two together and mark you as back to back so that you get the special letter and orange tag that they give you so that you're allowed to go back up the escalator after you clear customs.
Amazing. Yeah, and I know we did get the question about what time do you have to get off the ship when you have to disembark, and where do you go when you disembark? So can you talk a little bit
That's
about that process?
Yes, so that's very easy. So end of cruise one, you eat breakfast just like you would if you were leaving the ship. So in the last restaurant you ate dinner at, or at Marceline on the Wish or Cabanas on the others, you disembark the ship with maybe just your tote bag. You need your passport and your old key to the world card because you have to tap off that ship. Remember, you're leaving one sailing and you're jumping on another sailing, so they close you off sailing one. So you do tap off the ship. So you do need to take everything like that off with you. Your
Mhm.
passport, your key to the world card, and probably you're going to need your negative test.
Yeah.
You're going to go test right now through the tents after you disembark. And then once you've tested negative for now, you show your orange card and they let you right back up the elevators to port. And
Awesome.
once the crew and the ship clears customs, which is usually around 11 o'clock, you are back on board first. They come and they say, back to back, people, come on. And that means you're even on before concierge people who are sitting there waiting to board for the next sailing. You trump
Wow.
everybody. Um,
Yeah.
and the ship is empty. And you don't get excited, you don't get welcomed on because they're still cleaning the ship. So
Yeah.
it's like you walk on and the ship is being cleaned, it's getting ready for the next sailing. I saw Jimmy taking pictures with crew members who were, I don't know, getting awards of some sort, and they kind of waved as we walked back on. Um, so we were back on the ship by eleven
Wow.
fifteen, and then we started noticing people
Got it.
around 12.
Sure. Got
So
it.
you're there for an hour before anybody else.
Oh,
Very
well,
easy.
I was gonna say that's very nice, kind of getting the ship to yourself. I know a lot of people when the itineraries first started coming back out, when the cruise line first started opening up, people loved feeling like they had the ship to themselves. So that's a good way to do it. And I have seen a couple of questions come in. So do you get to stay on the ship a little longer with back to back, or do you have to be off at the same
You
time?
you have to be off because they have to clear customs. The ship still clears customs, and even the crew, you don't realize they're getting off at some point to clear customs. So everybody gets off. You
Got
can't
it.
stay on. So the sooner you get off and everybody gets off, the sooner you get to go back on. So don't dilly-dally.
Yes. Oh
Run
my
off the
gosh.
ship.
Right? You at least you know you're getting back on. Leaving is always the worst.
That's the best picture I think they took of me because it's the only time you don't see me cry when
Yeah.
I'm coming off the ship with the ship in the background. I actually turned around and went,
Yeah.
and they snapped a picture because there were no tears
Oh,
because I
that's
was just turning around.
listen, I'm right there with you. I always cry when I have to leave the ship. Um,
Horrible.
and we got another question from Emily. Do we think that the Wish will ever do more than 3 or 4 night cruises?
They haven't made any announcements. They did say the inaugural year was just going to be 3 and 4 night cruises, replacing the Dream. And they said that was to introduce her to more people,
Got it.
making her more accessible to more people.
That makes
And
sense.
then, more than likely, I would think she switches places with the fantasy.
Interesting.
If I had to guess, I say maybe the fantasy and the wish do a little swap.
Interesting.
And then there's two more of the
On the
Brighton
way.
class coming, so
I
we just
know.
don't know.
Yes. But Laura's so great. If you don't follow her on her social media already, definitely do that because she's so great at posting all sorts of updates. And we got a question. Oh, I haven't heard this one before. So, do you know there's a rule regarding back to back, and some cruises you actually can't do back to back because of the Jones Act? Have you heard of that?
They have to stop at ports, and
Got
all
it.
of these, none of these are. They used to have sailings that were sailings to nowhere,
Ah,
where they would never dock anywhere, and I think that's where that comes
interesting.
in because I've met people on my back to back or my regular cruises where, let's say, the magic comes from the transatlantic and the people on the transatlantic take the next sailing and they're on that ship for, oh, well over
Yeah.
4 weeks by the time they're done. Um, as long as the ship stops in ports, there you're in no danger.
Amazing. And Doug asked, how does Disney know if you're back to back? And that's something your travel agent can help you coordinate.
Yes, and if you don't use a travel agent, then you have to call Disney and tell them that you are traveling back to back, and the system will mark it, and then they know once you board.
Also, how cute are your little Minnie Mouse nails?
They've been on. You can see it's time for them to come off. They've been on so long. Hashtag back to back.
Yeah.
Uh,
And Cheryl's asking, how do you get the orange card? Do you get it when you first check in, or do you get it at the
they,
end of the?
when you get the sad stuff in the stateroom the last night when they give you your bag tags and your tip envelopes, it
Yeah.
comes that night and it's one per person and do have it on you because they're not letting you up the escalator without it. So make sure you put it with the key to your world card. It fits in the pouches. It's the perfect size and they collect them.
Oh,
They
wow.
once you board, they take them back so I can't even show it to you.
Oh my gosh. They're strict about it. But I guess, they want to make sure that exactly everybody who is supposed to get off and on, pending testing, current testing requirements. Um, and let's see, what other question? Oh, so we got a question about the dining team. And can you keep the same dining team when if you love who you have the first rotation, can you keep them
Oh
going to
yeah.
the second?
Oh, yeah. I kept the table, my dining team. There was no sadness at the end of the 3 night. It was, I'll see you tonight,
Oh,
save my seat. Don't let anybody take it. It's the same service team. Um, You could just tell them. Your head server will make sure of it.
Got it. Oh, that's awesome. And I know we see questions, this is a little off topic, but I know we see some questions about picking tables in the dining room and what's the best
I
table to
saw that
get.
today, and I'm glad you brought it up, because if you know you want a certain server or dining team, you could request them. If you have a travel agent who knows a lot of the crew, that travel agent might be able to get you some good seats. It's not done on a hierarchy. It's not how many times you've sailed. It really is luck of the draw.
Mm-hmm.
But in most cases, if you know your servers and you've been with them for a long time and you keep requesting them, they tend to know you're coming, and if they have a good seat in their section, they're going to put you in there. But I might have just hooked up a seat of one of my clients to have my seats when I left. So.
Wow, VIP treatment.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Just, I guess for the record, there's no bad seat in any of the
There is
dining
no
rooms.
bad seat. I mean, I've heard all sorts of complaints about Arundel. The stage should be higher because you can't see the show if you're in certain seats. Granted, but everybody's sitting down and the stage is elevated, so you can always see parts of it, and it's all about the singing.
Yeah.
So they're really singing, and you can hear it. And Marvel, the screens are showing the same thing, and there's a screen next to you no matter where you sit. And in the older ships, call them old. I can't believe I call them old. On the Dream and Fantasy, Crush, if I know people want Crush to talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's funny. You could be sitting at one table one time, Crush talks to you at the same table next sailing, and Crush doesn't.
Yes, I was gonna say we sat right next to the screen one sailing and got nothing. We sat further back another time and got you are gonna have a great experience no matter where you sit in the restaurant.
Crush kind of picks and chooses who he sees and talks to,
Yes.
because I sat at the same table back to back and was spoken to one sailing and not the other from the same table. He, Crush plays the room a little bit.
Yes, there's some Disney magic involved with who he chooses and what jokes he has up his flipper.
His flipper.
Yeah. And let's see, I think I saw, is keeping the same dining team something you need to ask for, or does it automatically do that?
You put that request in, but when you're on the ship, let's say you love your dining team and you know you're coming back, just say to the head server, I'm sailing, I'd like to stay with this team, and they'll just run and do it.
Amazing. And if you don't know, on Disney, you have a head server, a server, and an assistant server who are taking care of you, and they stay with you the entire length of your sailing. They follow you from restaurant to restaurant. So if you really like them, you can spend extra time with that entire team. And like Laura was saying, I mean, people create such friendships with their servers. I mean, we have our server that we always see in Palo.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen him now get married, have a baby, have it it's the relationships that you build with the cast member or the crew members. Don't be afraid to get to know them and talk to them.
Oh, they're great. They're really great. Like our Palo server, I walked in to the surprise. He became the manager. He became a Palo manager.
Oh,
and
wow.
I walked in, he was in the suit. I was like, Silvio. And he says, surprise.
Yes. Oh, that's awesome.
Server, head server, and assistant server.
Yes. And do you want to talk about what each of them is kind of responsible for? I know this is a little off topic, but I figure.
Your head server, he is the guy in charge of your dining team. He's the service team's boss. He is going to make sure your food is there. He is going to come to you every night and make sure you are okay and everything is okay. He's kind of the boss. Then you have your server. He's going to bring you your food. Then you have your assistant server, who's kind of in charge of making sure you have the drinks, that your kids get their meals so they can go to the kids clubs. And they follow you room to room, dining room to dining room.
Yes.
And they really do get to know you. Like if you were to ask Helsinki if I eat steak, he's going to say to you, well, 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 well. And he'll repeat that back to you because he knows that. And they know with dinner I drink cranberry juice. So it's sitting there before I even get to the table.
Yeah.
And they know this even at the end of a 3-night, they'll know your name. They'll know your children's name. If your kids like mac and cheese, they're going to get so much mac and cheese.
Yes.
They'll cut your kid's steak. They'll
take your lobster out of the lobster tail so you don't have to do it. I mean, you don't have to think if you don't want to. They will take such good care of you in these dining rooms. Oh, did I lose you for a second? Oh no. I cannot hear you. Let me try and take this guy out. Sorry, guys. Do you want to try and hop out and pop back in? I cannot hear you. Weird. So weird. Do you want to try and pop out and then pop back in? Awesome. And thank you everyone for dealing with the technical difficulties. It happens. If you have any other questions about back-to-back, this is an awesome time to submit them just to make sure that we see them all and that your questions can get answered. And of course, if you have any specific questions about your sailing, feel free to reach out to Laura directly. There's a link to her page. You can email her, go to her website, go to her social media. She is amazingly responsive. So she is here to help. And I'm just curious if anybody has, I think I saw somebody who said they have a back-to-back sailing booked. I personally do not have a back-to-back sailing book now, but this is making me want to do a back-to-back sailing. And Emily, I totally agree with you. I love lobster night. They used to do this yellow rice with the lobster, and it was just phenomenal. And let's see. Can I? A different. Okay, so we're going to add. Thank you guys. Hello.
Oh my gosh, I don't know what
Okay.
happened. My husband called and that like wrecked the whole thing.
Oh gosh, those husbands, they'll do it to you. No worries.
So what I miss?
So Cheryl asked if you get a different gift on your second cruise on the back-to-back.
The same gift.
Same gift. Okay.
But you get it's another sailing, so yes, you get your gift, but it's the same.
And can you explain for somebody who's maybe never done a Disney cruise before, what gifts are you getting in the stateroom? Does everybody get a gift in the stateroom?
So if you're a Castaway Club member, meaning you've sailed before, so after your first sailing your silver, then every time you sail, you get one gift per room. And I believe on the original 4 ships, it's still the sling bag. On the Wish, it's a beautiful tote that says inaugural sailing for the first year. So you get the tote, it's 1 per room.
Got it. So if you know that you're going to want to keep it and you're going to want one and maybe your better half wants one, the back-to-back sailing might be a good option so that you both get it.
That's actually something I never thought about.
Right? I know. And their bags are I have quite a few and they're just awesome to have. And Tammy said, how long were you off the ship in between the 2 sailings?
Probably an hour tops. An hour tops, because we had to test to come back on. So we ran to the 10th and you had to wait for the results, and then we had to go back up, and then we had to go through the whole check our passport thing as if we hadn't just sailed. They have to do the same thing, and then we were back on. So probably a total of an hour. And we were in our bathing suits and cover-ups. We were just ready to go.
Yeah, ready to sit back by the pool and enjoy a beverage. I love it. And let's see. Jennifer asked, so my husband and I are doing a back-to-back first cruise alone, and then we add the kids. Jennifer, I like the way you think.
Oh, I love that.
Right? We can't just board easily, correct? We have to check in the kids and do, okay. So you have to do the kids check-in first. You would kind of pick them up, collect them,
Yeah, you're going to have to collect them. And then I don't even know how that's going to work because they're not going to have the orange. Hmm.
So I know
Are
that's
you concierge by any chance?
yeah, Jennifer, let us know if you're concierge, and if not, maybe reach out to Laura. Maybe there's a way that we can kind of connect some dots here. A back to
Because
back
they
to
would
back.
port arrival time, they would be off the ship and ready to reboard before the port arrival time. So where would they grab their kids?
Yeah, good
And where do
question.
you start testing
You'd have to.
people? I
Interesting.
don't know. I have to research this one. That's a stumper.
Yeah. Well, Jennifer, if you need, definitely reach out to Laura and see if she can help, like I said, kind of connect some of those dots, so that maybe there's some efficiencies there so you don't have to get totally, totally off the ship to get back on again.
Yeah,
Um, and then Logan asked, are you able to purchase an additional placeholder on the second cruise of a back to back?
absolutely.
Awesome.
I never leave without one.
I was gonna say, if you don't know what a placeholder is, Laura, do you want to explain what a placeholder is?
Sure. So on your app, they make it really easy. You could do it while you're stepping on the ship so you don't forget. It's the only way you're going to get a discount on a cruise. So it's literally 250, $250 deposit that they take off the credit card on file. And it is a booking. It has no date attached to it, but it's good for 24 months. You get 10% off the next sailing. And if that sailing is 7 nights or more, it's a 50% off your deposit. So it's a 10% deposit instead of a 20%. Um,
Are there
and the,
blackout dates with a placeholder?
yes, there are blackout dates. So of course you can't use that for the Christmas sailings or the Thanksgiving sailings or the big holiday sailings, but you could use them any other time of year. And they come in really handy because it does save you money. So if you're smart and you're holding onto that placeholder and they release itineraries and you know now that booking the first day your itinerary date opens for booking, it's the least expensive. You add your placeholder to the opening booking date, you're getting a really good deal on a Disney cruise.
And
So,
when you're on board, if you have a travel agent, they can just seamlessly transfer your reservation directly to an agent, right?
um, it's actually, there are humans again post COVID. So you can
Yay!
speak to them. Some of them will add the agencies, IATA. Some will just say transfer it to your travel agent once you get there. If you're already working with a travel agent and you do it on the app, it just says, do you want to keep your travel agent? Hit yes. If you don't, hit no. If you hit no, the agent will never know that you hit no. Um, it's sad. It's not like we don't figure it out.
Yeah,
But if you hit yes, they'll get a copy of it. So it's easy to keep your agent. It's kind of hard to put a new one on. You have 30 days to transfer it to a travel agent.
got it. And I mean, we constantly see people asking, how do you save money on a Disney cruise? And I mean, the top thing you can do is book a placeholder, of course, but then working with a travel agent, some agents offer some incentives and can help you with additional things. Like I know you help book flights on top of. So there's creative ways to save money and make this just a seamless planning experience.
Right. And some agencies do onboard credit. Ours do. Ours does onboard credit. Some agencies don't.
Mhm.
You know, I don't think an agency has to. I think that travel agents as a whole provide a service, and that service is worth its weight in gold, as we saw during the COVID shutdown and
Yeah.
how hard it was to get through. Um, but I don't think it doesn't cost more to use a travel agent. So,
Yes, and I don't think many people, I know I didn't know that for years. I thought you had to pay for an agent, but you pay zero extra. Your cruise costs the exact same whether you book it yourself or you use a travel agent. And we have a whole blog about why you would want to use an agent. But our favorite part is the fact that I get a customized recommendation based on my family and my budget, where I'm flying from. So you get a personalized travel consultant for $0. Like you said, Laura, worth its weight in gold.
It is. And, it's hard when a lot of times this onboard credit, and I'm going to say this out loud, it comes out of our own pockets.
Yeah.
So, those big box stores that I won't mention
Yes.
that
Yes.
give ungodly amounts of stuff for, I don't know, paper towels.
Yeah.
You're pitted against that. Can't
Yes.
compete. But I can tell you, I'll answer the phone.
Yeah. Yep. You will answer the phone and it will always be you. It will always be your agent. You're not going to get a new person having to re-explain your situation every time.
Right.
So lots and lots of positives to why you would want to work with a travel agent. And it looks like Susan's going to be gold on her first sailing, and on back to back, she'll be platinum.
Oh,
Oh, that's
you get
awesome.
platinum lanyard for your second cruise. Congratulations. You get Palo for free. I
Yes.
hope you booked your Palo.
Oh my gosh, Palo's so worth it. And
Free.
yes. And then Charlene, I know I somehow we're already at 7:30, but Charlene is asking what was the change in the COVID policy? Do you quickly want to
Oh,
touch on that?
sure. I'm happy to because I think I jumped up and down and screamed for joy. Of course,
Yes.
it happened. Two things happened when I stepped off the ship. One, while I was standing next to my favorite cruise director, Jimmy, I got the email saying character hugs were back
Yes.
after I disembarked.
Oh,
Oh, I was like, and of course, Jimmy's like, yeah, I kind of knew that. I'm like, oh,
why
okay.
didn't you tell me?
So that's great news because that means Disney Cruise Line is back to normal. You can now hug all the characters you want to hug. No more social. I took my last socially distanced picture with a character on this last sailing. Uh,
Amazing.
then I got home, and yesterday or the day before, the days are just blending. Um, they are taking away for vaccinated guests pre-cruise testing.
And you have to be vaccinated if
You
you
do
are.
still have to be vaccinated 12 and older.
Mhm.
DCL did drop the 5 to 12 requirement, so you can bring your children under 11, 0 to 11, can
Mhm.
be unvaccinated. They still have to test, and it's the same way. It has to be the PCR before and then the test at port. But if you're vaccinated, and that means your vaccinated children no longer have to test to sail DCL.
Amazing.
Walloping, good news.
Yes. No.
Yay, no more stress, no more. And yes, you're going to stress if you have the kids, they're not vaccinated. That is going to be stressful. But there are many people with the vaccinated children, and now you know you're going to sail. Just stay.
Yes.
And we all hope that if you're not feeling well, you're going to do the right thing and stay home. Um,
Yes.
because the CDC will love nothing more than to shut the cruise lines down again. So don't do that. If you don't
Yes.
feel well, stay home. But
Yes.
the good news is you don't have to stress. You don't have to lock yourself in your house 2 weeks before
Yeah.
you sail.
Oh my gosh, so true. Yes, not even talking to the Amazon delivery person who's coming to
Right.
the door to deliver packages.
Don't come near me. I'm going on a cruise. Yeah.
Yes. So that was a really big change. I know that a lot of other cruise lines have been slowly dropping things. So big change from Disney, but they're still doing what they feel is best to keep as many passengers and their crew healthy
That
and safe.
being the vaccine requirement because we
Yeah.
are seeing other cruise lines drop the vaccine requirement. I don't know when we'll see Disney do that. The
Yes.
fact that they dropped the testing,
Yeah.
my jaw hit the floor. I had to reread it a couple times.
Yes. Agreed. Yeah, it's a big move for Disney, that's for sure.
That's huge.
Yeah.
I'll take that. I'll take that as a win. I'll take the fact that they're not making 5-year-olds that mandate like,
Yes.
oh, Okay.
Yes, lots of good things happening.
And you can
Um,
character. So
yes, the best
book,
thing of all. Yes,
sail, let these cruise lines out of trouble.
yeah,
Get your bookings. Get our crew back to work. There are still some sitting at home. It's time.
yeah.
Sail.
And if now is not the time for you and you still don't feel comfortable, that is fine. We will be here and Disney Cruise Line will be here when you are ready and you feel like it is your time to be on board. And there are still plenty of people who are on board and wearing masks the whole time. And if that's what you feel comfortable with, it is your vacation. Do
Believe
what you need to feel your best.
there were plenty of people still wearing masks. It was on in a cabana, and the people in the cabana next to me on the beach were wearing masks outside. That's how they felt comfortable. Okay,
Yep,
they had a great time. Um, you do what you have to do to feel safe.
absolutely. And I feel like maybe we answer a couple more of these
Sure,
questions
go.
before we hop off. So, what is the grace period for a placeholder?
24 months, 2 years. And if you don't use it, it automatically refunds. You don't lose money. You have nothing to lose.
Oh my gosh, only money to save.
Right.
And then how about the DVC meetings on the Disney cruise ships? Are they doing those again?
I There were DVC things on board, actually. I did
Oh,
Navigator. I
okay.
don't them, but they did definitely. I saw people running around with their DVC gifties. So yeah,
Oh,
they must be coming back.
yes, all sorts of goodies to come out of those meetings. And then cruising back to back. Let's see, just reading this one. For the second cruise, it will be gold. I had heard there was an additional gift for Gold Castaway Club. Will we be able to get the gold gift when we reboard? I guess it would automatically be in your room on a
Absolutely.
second sailing.
Yeah, if you're nothing, yeah, absolutely.
Amazing. Oh my gosh, we got a question about what's Palo. We could do a whole 30-minute
Oh,
talk on
I
Palo.
follow until I'm blue in the face. It is the Italian adult only restaurant. No, you can't bring your kids. I see that question all the time. I'm like,
Agreed. Yes.
no, no,
Yes.
no, you can't bring your kids. And if they're 17, you can't bring your kids. It's
Mhm.
18 or older. They have to wait. My kids had to wait till they were 18.
I had to
It's the
wait.
way it is. It is the adult only restaurant. Um, there's also Remy, which is French. I don't enjoy that. I'm not a French food fan. And but Palo is the Italian, and it has a brunch. It has a dinner. You have to make reservations. It is $45 a person,
Hmm.
which is when you see the menu and you see all the food you get, it would be
Amazing.
it would be like a $300 meal for my husband and I in New York City. It it,
Agreed.
it is amazing food for $45 a person. You have to make a reservation. I saw a question, do I prefer brunch or dinner? I
Hmm.
love both of them. Each of them has a different feel. Um, Brunch, you have to roll me out of because I overeat.
Agreed.
Dinner is just fabulous. And I tend to go there pirate night because I'm not a fan of the pirate menu. So I always try to get my Palo dinner for pirate night. And then I just eat a lovely Italian meal.
Oh, it's the best. The steak will melt in your mouth. The
Oh,
dessert will make you dream of it for the rest of your life. If you have all of the restaurants are amazing.
chocolate souffle
Oh my
for
gosh,
the
my mouth
dessert.
is watering.
Uh,
So the moral of the story is if you can book Palo, and if you do back to back, you can book Palo twice.
right.
So,
You just
um,
became platinum.
yeah,
One of those is free. So
that's
you get
right.
one Palo meal, whether it be dinner or brunch for free, a sailing.
Amazing. And we'll make this the last question. So, were the pools open right away when you boarded? Was the food open right away when you reboarded for your second cruise?
Okay, so the pools are being cleaned. So eventually, if they're clean, you can use them,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to wait because remember, they're cleaning the ship. So you can use the pools once they're done being cleaned, which usually happens pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Food. They will open the Cove Cafe in the Quiet Cove area, and they will open one of the bars. It depends on what ship you're on, and they will have food there. Dogs, it's a dog, sorry.
Oh, no. Been there.
So there is food and there is drink for you, but I do suggest you eat breakfast before you leave the ship so you're not starving, because the real food doesn't actually kick up until the ship is in full mode. Because remember, they're not there to, you're on board to enjoy like being on board. You can go to your stateroom, you can relax by the pool, but they're not ready to feed you because they're clearing customs and then cleaning the ship and cooking. So they're preparing for the next sailing. So they try to give you, you can drink all the coffee you want from Cove Cafe. They have, you know, the drink stations open for the kids. There's plenty of that, and there's snacks, but meal, you got to wait until boarding.
Yes, but once everything is open, you can be the first one in the pool.
You're first in line.
Yes, first in line for whatever slide, the Aqua Mouse, Aqua Duck, Aqua Dunk.
Whatever, Marceline, Cabanas, wherever you want to eat, you are first in line for it.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, you're not hungry between cruises. After a 3-night cruise, you're good for a few hours.
Oh my gosh, yes. I can't think of a time I've been hungry on a Disney cruise outside of when you wake up in the morning. But this was awesome. I hope everyone enjoyed talking about back-to-back cruises. I know it's such a great way to get some additional nights on the Disney ships. If you have any questions, if you're interested in booking a back-to-back sailing, reach out to Laura. She is here to help you and be that resource to connect reservations to make sure that your party is happy, especially if you're sailing with a larger group and you have multiple staterooms on a back-to-back. That's a lot of coordination. Lean on her to be your resource. We'll make sure that a link is included, and we recorded this so you can refer back to it. But thank you so much, Laura, and we will talk to you soon.
Definitely. You guys have a great night. Thanks for coming, everybody.
Thanks. Bye.